First Alert Forecast.
We use a variety of tools to tell us the current weather story. This is just one version of that story. You can see the front from yesterday into this morning has passed off to our south and to our east. It brought some rain with it, for some pretty intense rain, like in Hicksville, Ohio, where about 4 to 5 inches of rain fell in a short amount of time yesterday evening, or in our southern communities like Grant, Blackford, and Jay counties that saw a couple of inches of rain just last night alone. That front is now to our south and east, clearing to our north. But as nice as this looks, the air quality does not look as nice. In fact, it's poor across northeast Illinois, southern Michigan, sensitive in northwest Indiana, particularly for those with some underlying health conditions, moderate air quality locally. Why would this be? Well, we're back to the wildfire risk. The wildfire smoke from the Canadian wildfires that have really been ongoing all spring, summer, and likely into the fall will start to transition into our neck of the woods again. Not likely, at least at this point, to be as intense or dense as perhaps earlier in the season, but nonetheless noticeable. Air quality tomorrow, moderate to our north. I should say unhealthy for sensitive groups to our north, but locally should be at the moderate range. You can see the surface smoke looks most dense across northern Illinois, northwest Indiana. So there will be some noticeable haze here through the evening. You've probably already seen it. Into tomorrow morning, it could look a little bit better, likely still hanging on to some of that haze until about mid-morning. And then we should see things improve even into Saturday morning, likely looking a lot better. Still not ideal, but most of that smoke will be headed off to our south and to our west. And eventually, we should see a little bit of relief by midday Saturday into Sunday. Now, dew points, of course, are low, so even with the smoke and the haze around, the actual temperature difference happened exactly as forecast, with the dew points now in the mid-60s, expected to be in the low to mid-50s by tomorrow. So even drier air is on its way. And there is what that front managed to do. Drag that temperature down about 15, 20 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Upper 70s, likely by tomorrow afternoon. Even with the haze, I still think the temperatures should be able to reach their limit. Typically, when we talk about wildfire haze being particularly dense, that usually leads to temperatures being maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees cooler than expected. Because we expect it to be most dense to our west, I don't think we're going to really struggle to reach the upper 70s tomorrow. Into the low to mid 50s, though, by Saturday morning. Kind of an unseasonably cool August morning for a Saturday, and then by Saturday afternoon, we're all the way back up to about 80 degrees, and then should make it to about 80 again after a cool morning on Sunday. Here we are at about 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, give or take about 80 degrees locally. All right, here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Not looking too bad. Late July and early August can bring sometimes a mixed bag of weather. I'm not sure I'd call this a mixed bag, though. This looks pretty nice, pretty seasonable. Sunshine through Sunday, highs right around 80. 82 with an isolated storm possible on Monday. Not tracking any severe weather at this point. Monday through Wednesday, maybe a pop-up shower or storm. Highs gradually warming into the low 80s. We'll likely see highs in the mid-80s, though, toward the end of next week. But as you can see, overnight lows will also be warming up from the low to mid-50s to the low to mid-60s. And there are some signs as we head toward the second week of August that perhaps the heat could return. That would be probably more what you would expect for August. I'd be shocked if we didn't get to 90 again. We've already overachieved for the summer.
Yeah.
I expect probably 4 or 5 more before we're done.
Yeah, but I would say this Friday